Thank you for joining me. My name is Christina, and these are a set of exercises to target an area along the hip and pelvis called the iliac crest. So if you place your hands on your hips, you're gonna feel this kind of bony ridge, almost looks like two arches. That's an area that can experience a lot of tenderness or pain through a variety of different reasons. Sometimes it comes from a traumatic event or an injury directly there, or it can result in another area of the body experiencing pain, and that's just where it's surfacing. So these exercises are designed to release parts of that area. Now, it's worthwhile saying that this is not a typical asana or yoga practice where there's a flow to it. These exercises are kind of done one after another, and these exercises are short, so somewhere between the 10, 15, or 20-minute duration. So you can do them as a standalone practice. So the props that you will need in order to work on this area are a blanket of some kind, a wall, and I have 2 chairs that are side by side. You can also do this off of a couch or a mattress as well. So we're gonna start seated, and the first exercise is what I like to call 90-degree legs. So it's also worthwhile saying that I'm not going to mirror you because I'm gonna be kind of flipping my positioning around so much that I'm just gonna lose track. So I'll just make sure that I'm as clear as I possibly can be. So place your legs at about a 90-degree angle and flex both of your feet quite firmly so that your toes are pointing directly up. Start here. Anchor your sitting bones down, and then you're gonna start to turn your torso to, and this is my right leg. And then now, as I turn my torso away from my legs, I'm gonna allow my toes to turn. My hands are gonna come with me, so notice where my toes are. I'm still flexing them out. My toes are now pointing towards the side. Okay. Keep straightening the legs and flexing the toes, and then lower yourself onto your forearms. You're gonna start to notice that as you get a little bit deeper here, you might want to walk your hands and almost come a little bit onto the outer hip. So notice I'm sort of dragging my back leg. Adjust your hands as needed and hold. And then I'm not gonna hold this as long as you might need to. So at any point within these exercises, please feel free to pause the recording. And then you can play it once you're ready to continue. I'm gonna walk myself up and then come back to that neutral position. Okay, from here, I'm gonna scoot behind my right knee, turn myself towards my left leg. Okay, I'm gonna cross my right ankle over my left, coming into like a figure 4 prep. Okay. From here, I'm gonna turn my figure 4 on its side. So both of my legs are now down. So I'll do that one more time. So both of my knees are gonna move towards the right. Notice that my ankle is still crossed. Okay. Make sure that your right ankle is on top of the left outer thigh quite firmly and securely. Okay. From here, this is where it gets a little bit funky. Lower onto your forearms. Okay. You're gonna take your left hand and you're gonna start to scoop your left heel towards your glute. I like to clasp the outer edge and then roll a little bit closer towards the earth. So it's a little bit like a quad stretch, or you're gonna notice this all along the outside of your right thigh as well. And then as I transition to the next exercise, again, feel free to pause and hold that as long as you need. Okay, so I'm gonna press myself up, release my foot, come back into that figure 4 shape. I'll turn to face you so it's a little bit easier to see. From here, I'm gonna heel toe my right foot over to my left foot over to the right, and then I'm gonna stack my knees, coming into a Gomukhasana, a cow-faced pose. Adjust your seat, make sure both sitting bones are down. And then from here, walk your heels a little bit further away so that the shins are approaching parallel to the front edge of your mat space. You're gonna take your hands to prayer. And then now we're gonna come into like a seated spinal twist, but with the Gomukhasana legs. Take your left elbow and hook towards the right outer kneecap and thigh and twist. Look past your right shoulder. And so the traction of your elbow against your outer thigh will provide a little bit more of a release along the hip. Keep flexing both of your feet quite firmly. I'll turn back towards center and move to the next thing. Okay. So pick up your right kneecap, plant your foot, and extend your left leg out. This is gonna look something like this. Okay. Walk your left hand out so that your arm is making about a 45-degree angle and your fingertips are flared out. From here, make sure that you're creating one straight line so that your whole body is in the same plane other than the right leg. So from here, you're gonna start to almost like allow your left rib cage to flare open. Let your shoulder come by your ear, and then you're gonna just lift your hips up maybe 1 inch. Press into your right foot, and then lift your hips up. And then allow them to almost like hammock down. You should start to feel this along your left hip. I like to use my right hand as a little bit of a support in case I need some balance, assistance, and you can rock your weight forward and back. And you'll notice that my leg is actually all along the earth. It's just my hip that's lifted up about 1 inch. I'm gonna set my hip down. And then from here, I'm gonna walk my leg forward just so you can see me, uncross my foot. And then I'm gonna plant my right foot against my left thigh. Slide your hands forward a little bit. And then to your, I would say the outer or the front right corner of your mat space. Left elbow is gonna hook along the right thigh, and then see if you can come into a little bit of a twist. You can place your hands in prayer or not. And again, use that traction against the elbow and the thigh to get into that twist a little bit more. Turn towards the center. Pick up your kneecap. And then from here, here's where a blanket might come in handy. You're gonna know immediately whether this is great for your body or not. Okay? So I always like to have a blanket handy. You're going to come into Ardha Virasana. Okay? So the thighs are gonna come next to one another. And I'm gonna tuck my heel towards my glute. It looks like this. So again, you're gonna know immediately whether or not your kneecap is able to sustain this. You can also pad your seat to get a little bit of height. From here, and if this is not working, you can either skip this or you can even come into it like this position. And then now slowly start to walk yourself back, maybe lowering onto your forearms. Softening your belly, making sure that the thighs are still about parallel to one another. You can also lay all the way back if you'd like on your spine. And then when you're ready, if you're on your forearms, walk your palms under your shoulders and press yourself up. And then just kind of walk yourself forward. You can come to a seat or maybe a hands and knees position. I'm going to quickly move through that on the other side just so that you have a reference point. I'm not going to do all of the same cues, but you can also just repeat the first part of this. So doing this on the other side, legs at 90 degrees, flexing the toes and then turning your torso. And then holding. And again, while I move through this on the other side, feel free to pause and hold as long as you need to through this recording. Walk yourself up. Scoop underneath the left kneecap. Move through a transitional figure 4. Moving into the quad stretch, turning onto your side, lowering onto your forearm. Grabbing hold of the foot. And then starting to turn your torso and then pressing your heel towards your glute. Let go of the foot. Okay. You're in a figure 4. And then start to stack your kneecaps. Coming into that Gomukhasana again. Opposite knee on top this time. Walk yourself forward. Over towards the left. Hook the elbow. And then move into the spinal twist. Unwind. This time, lift up your left kneecap, plant the left foot, extend the right, so the bottom leg. I'm gonna move into that low speed skater type thing, okay? So I like to walk my hand out and then kind of lift my shoulder up. And again, that's just to sort of expand through the rib cage. Left palm is there for balance, and press into your hand and lift your hip up. Notice that my shoulder is now lifting away, and you can just kind of rock yourself forward and back. Lower your hip. And then from here, this time, left foot comes to the inside of the right leg. Extend your right leg out. Slide your hands forward to the left, and then hook the elbow. Hands in prayer, or maybe not. Unwind when you're ready. Pick up your left knee, and then move into the Ardha Virasana on the other side. Again, just because you did it on the other side doesn't mean that you have to do it on this side, okay? And then choose your depth as you lower down, making sure that the thighs are parallel. That is key. And press yourself back up. And shake out your legs. Okay. So that is a portion of this that's more on the mat and seated, I would say. Okay. So the next half of these exercises are to be done either kneeling or standing in some sort of way. And then take your blanket, place it in the middle of your mat, come to a tabletop-like position, and then you'll step your right foot forward. So your legs are about 90 degrees. And then from here, you're going to start to shift your pelvis forward, making sure that the front knee is still at a 90-degree angle. So the back knee is a little bit more. And then now, you're going to hinge forward slightly, and then once again, hook the elbow. You should feel this all along the psoas on the outside of your left hip. And then unwind, and you'll do that same thing on the other side. Stepping the left foot forward, walking your hands up. I like to keep the back toes tucked for stability, hinging forward and then hooking the right elbow. Lower your hands. Come into a tabletop and then walk your hands back. Okay, so now stand up and then move towards a wall. And so as you move towards a wall, all right, from here, a little bit of coordination, okay? And again, I'm not gonna mirror you here. So you're gonna cross your left foot over your right, bend your knees so that you can plant both of your feet, and extend your right arm and make sure that you can grab a hold of the wall. And then now from here, you're going to start to bring your hips over to the left. So it's whatever leg is on top is the direction that your hips are going. And then your hands pressing up against the wall for balance and support. And then from here, I actually like to almost like rock forward and back slightly. Almost like you are swaying your hips forward and back. And you'll do the same thing on the other side. And for me, I'll have to turn. And again, bending your knees to plant your feet. And same thing, just jutting your hips over to the other side. Maybe doing that same rocking action. And press back up. Okay, so from here, this is where it would be helpful, the last two, if you had some sort of chair of some kind. It's not necessary, but it might be helpful. Okay, so from here, I'm gonna use the chair, and unfortunately my chair is gonna slide, so I'm just gonna do sort of a modified version of this. Okay. And so I'm gonna step my right foot, almost like I was doing like a lunge against the chair. I'm gonna walk my back leg back. Okay. I'm gonna press, and I'm gonna have to support myself with the chair here. Right hand comes against the top of the thigh. I'm on the ball of my left foot, and I'm just gonna start to press my hips forward. And so this is just creating a little bit of leverage. Yes, you can do this on the ground as well. You don't need a chair, but you're going to notice a difference as you get a little bit of height as you bring your pelvis forward. You can even play around with bending the back knee and then straightening it. Sort of a mega stretch. And then you'll do that same thing on the other side. And again, hopefully you have a better chair situation. And again, couch might be key here. Starting to bring the pelvis forward. You might even want to incorporate a slight back bend. So you should notice this opening all along the front of the pelvis, the psoas, etc. Okay. The very last one. Okay. This is why I have 2 chairs. Okay. You can also do this against a mattress. Okay. We'll see if I can get this. And so you're going to do something called Ardha Apanasana. Okay. And so you can imagine that we did this all the time in class. You're going to lay back. Okay. Okay. 2 chairs, just basically, all you need is your torso to be on the chairs. Okay. Hug one knee in this case, my right. You're going to extend your left and then start to lower the heel down. Okay. And you might want to actually make sure that you're basically, the seat is right up against the edge of the chairs here. And you're letting gravity press your left heel down and opening up. It's basically the exact same thing as the other position you can imagine, right? Low lunge, but you're on your back. It's a little bit more supportive in this way. And then you'll just switch. And that's it. So these exercises are highly specific. And again, they're somewhat based on yoga, but some not. Some is just experimentation and seeing what feels good for that area of the body. Thank you for tuning in. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please reach out. And I hope you have a wonderful day.